What is up, everybody? This is DareBear64 coming back at you with another round of playing killer category here on Dead by Daylight. We are trying something new, and I've actually looked up a lot of videos, different tips and tricks and everything to play her, but she's got a very high skill cap level, and this killer is known as a nurse. So I did play a couple runs right before I hopped on here, and we didn't do too bad. First game was tragic, of course, and that was actually before I actually looked up the videos and kind of got an idea of how to actually play this character. But after doing so, I gotta say my gameplay just was remarkable second game. I think it was actually one of my fastest rounds of Dead by Daylight because of the fact that she could teleport through any obstacle, walls. It doesn't even matter if it's on the second level. If you know how to aim her ability, you're able to just dart basically right for the people, like no matter what they're doing, no matter where they're at. So I've learned that the main perks in order to run her right is basically anything that can slow down gameplay, like for them to get generators done and everything. Anything that also, like a perk called Whispers, just so you know that they're in the surrounding area. The main thing is to always use her blink ability. That is when they're like in line of sight of you. Don't try to overguess it or anything, because if you come across any skilled players, they'll know how to counter you. So when you go into dark first, they'll just backtrack and they'll literally rush right through you as you're facing through them, and you'll lose a whole bunch of time because after every blink you get fatigued. Every time you blink, it adds another 0.5 seconds to the cooldown period as well. So if you miss your attack, that's another whole second on top of that. So there could be a total of 4 seconds in total that you could be totally out of the fight while they're gaining ground on you. And with this killer, something very important to be known is that she actually runs slower than the survivors. I want to say it was a 3.85 meters per second, and the survivors can run at a 4.0 meters per second. More base killers can typically run at around a 4.25, I believe, if I'm right. My numbers might be just slightly off, but I do know that she is the slowest one out of all the killers. She relies entirely on her blinks, and that's why she's got such a high skill cap, because basically that's how she relies on getting her hits, and if you miss it, you're going to have a tough time. The main thing is get used to the distance, know how long to charge up your blinks for, and know how to dart right for the person. So one good thing that we're going to run as an add-on that's actually going to help us improve this is called Plaid Flannel, and since it is a brown, more common item found in the Blood Web, you can use it a lot more. The main thing is not to become too reliant on it, because right now we're going to run it just so we can get kind of more of a feel for it, get more muscle memory, and we get an idea of like how far we need to charge our ability in order to dart, so far, depending on how far away the survivor is. So we're gonna go ahead and ready up here. We're gonna get to our first game here live, and one thing to take into consideration again is you get 2 charges for your blink. So the first charge will run at full length, will run 20 meters. And then on your second charge, right before your fatigue sets in, you're able to get a full charge of about 12 meters on your second charge. So you can basically run her entire terror radius, which is a total of 32 meters already. So if done correctly, especially running a good perk like Whispers, because it picks up within a 32 meter radius of any people that are near you, so you can get a good gauge of a good idea. If there's anybody in your area, you'll have the capability. If you can just get a good visual on them, get an idea of where they're at, you will be able to reach them if you master her techniques properly. So that is the key, though, is being able to master it. So that's what we're going to do here. So we're going to go into this next game here, and hopefully I'll have as good luck as I did in my last game. Definitely not a bad killer. One of the most OP ones actually ranked as of right now. And it's only because of her ability to dodge pallets, dodge windows, go through walls. And if you can just be really good at your map awareness and knowing exactly where things are at, where you need to dart to, about where they're going to be at, you're looking pretty decent with this killer. So alright, all that being said, let's get into it. It's gonna be. I'm kind of excited about this round. I'm really hoping this is gonna be a nice one. Yeah, the main thing is to not get too reliant on the add-ons that are going to give you those extra abilities, because when you're trying to learn her base techniques, you want to be more aware of what she can actually do without anything. So that way, when you go to add on the things, you know, like the add-ons, you'll be able to know, okay, I'm going to be able to go that far, you know, basically, but then just a little extra, you know, and you kind of gauge around it. It's more or less going to become just muscle memory. The more experience, more trial and error, the more you do. Be ready to lose a lot of games at the beginning, typically. Because this character is actually very, very complicated to use if you're not used to it already. So, here we go. Don't judge too harshly. I just started recently getting her level up in the blood web and everything as well. So we've still got some perks we need to grab that we definitely are going to want over what we have right now. See if we can get a good visual on somebody here. See how it shows you like the ideal placement. And then you immediately go into fatigue. Okay, so we got somebody in the area. See, we use the second one to get up on them. Oh, now that I missed my tag, I'm going to go into fatigue. I'm going to be out for about 4 seconds here. Alright, see how much that can hinder you? Look how much distance they can... I'm not going to do that. You can see how much distance they can gain from you when not used correctly. Since she is slower, she relies absolutely on her blink here. So what we're going to do is we're going to pivot ourselves more or less behind the person. And then the second one... Okay. That's when you basically go for the strike. Alright, so we got our 2 charges back. Let's go ahead and go back on it. Alright. Really hard to use, but you can see just how good she can be, though. The fact of being able to just dodge right at him. Let's see, I should probably just stay near here. There we go. There we go. Finally got a hit on somebody. Find out where she's at. We got our 2 charges back. Here we go. 1 to pivot. She's going to go on the other side. Nope. Oh, so we waited too long to do our second one. But we get a free hit anyway, so that works out. Alright, let's go ahead and finish this one up. There we go. Main thing is get the hit in before your fatigue sets in. Get an easy kill every single time. Very, very beautiful thing when it works out. Alright, it sounds like somebody's in the area here. So there's people over in this direction as well. Let's get a good idea here. I know somebody's in this area. They may have just ran completely away as well. Alright, they're probably going to be looking to unhook here soon. Depending on what skill cap these survivors are at. Let's go ahead and damage this. So let's go ahead and cover some ground here. Okay. Got to get a good understanding of that. I can't just hold in my second charge fully because I will go into fatigue state before I can do anything. So here we go. We know they're in the area. Looks like they're wrapping left. At least one of them is. Main thing is, let's just try to get some distance here. Perfect. Now we know, right? Oh. There we go. Nice easy first hit. Nice easy second hit. There we go. Not bad, not bad. Now we got 2 of them off the generators. They do have 3 done. This is going to be a rough game probably for us. But let's just see what we can do. As long as you get the techniques down, it doesn't really matter how many generators you get done. Just as long as you can stay steady. Okay, they definitely probably don't want her to die. So I do know they wrapped around to the right. Let's see if we get any that's the main thing. Is we're going to be running some good perks like Whispers once we finally get a hold of it in the Blood Web. As of right now, all I can do is hear their heavy breathing, so it kind of gives away their position, but it's not the more ideal thing. We're going to head back because somebody's going to be going for her. And, alright, okay. So we know we can hold it for about 2 seconds before we go into fatigue state. Somebody's definitely in the area. There they are. Looks like you might have wrapped over here. Let's just take a look. There we go. Oh, wait, it's too long. Another reason why it's very important to know where your person is, so that way you can really make use of that second blink. Alright, so we know where he's at. We're getting a good idea here of what we can do. The way he's wrapped, the way he's moving. Let's go ahead and Bonnie. There it is. Oh, okay. So what we want to typically do is put it maybe a little ahead of him there. Just to ensure that we get the distance, because we gotta be thinking the fact that he's gonna be moving too, so. There. Oh no, and I just missed. Okay. So we're gonna get some distance here. Oh, maybe not. Work out. Gonna get a free hit. Alright. Not too shabby. Alright, let's check out this section, kid. She's out. Let's just get an idea. See if they're gonna go for him or not. Okay, so he's dead completely. They already got away. Alright. So as you can see, what we could have done in that game, we could have taken advantage of a lot more than what we did. Of course, you know, be prepared to lose a lot. Be proud of what little accomplishments that you do make with the progression. Because once you do master this killer, she is absolutely astounding. OP by all rights. And that was my third gameplay ever playing her. So, I mean, honestly, not too bad. I'm not going to beat myself up too bad for it. There are definitely a lot of things that I could have done better. So, let's see here. Starting the chase with 16 different survivors. We already have 8, so we're going to go for 8 more for the Archive Challenge. Let's take a look at our daily challenges as well. Sabotaging, so that's going to require being a survivor. We got Hillbilly. Wailing Bell, being the Wraith. So let's go ahead and change this one out. Here we go. We got by your hand, kill 1 survivor with the nurse. So that'll be an easy one to get, especially with the gameplay we're playing right now. We're focusing more on the nurse. We do have 34,000 to spend in Blood Web, so we're trying to go for these different perks just to see how fast we can get a hold of them. It's only level 17, as you can see. So this is the fun of the game, though. It's grinding it out, putting together different combos in order to make your perks that you have available to you to match your gameplay. And then you never know, you might just come across something that just may be OP for you that other people may not like, but that's okay. So that's why I would recommend not just going over like what somebody else would recommend you using all the time, because if it doesn't fit your gameplay, it probably won't benefit you as much as it benefits them, and there might be a different, you know, combination. So, all that being said, let's see what we got here. See, those plaid flannels actually pop up a lot. So when you're learning her, first off at the beginning, definitely recommend that, because it definitely helps you get an understanding of exactly where that marker is going to be, where you're going to be placed at for as long as you hold that. Wooden Horse also is a good thing. It decreases your extra fatigue, but if you get too used to using this, it's actually considered to be a bad thing, because honestly, your decreased fatigue is it's decreased by 50%. I mean, that's pretty good lump sum. And if you can get used to just landing your hits on the second attack, you know, getting good with your blinks, then typically you don't even need that, and you can open that up for another add-on slot. So definitely good for beginner rounds, but not something to rely on. And it looks like we're low on blood points. We're going to go ahead and load again. So I'm going to go ahead and go over the perks that I am running that I currently have available. And I figured for me, this would be like about the best way for me to level her up to kind of get some things here. So the best combination I could see was Nurse's Calling. So anyone that's being healed, I'll be able to dart right to them if they're within a 24-meter range. Now I know that if I get that upgraded all the way, it'll be up to a 32-meter range, which would be my entire terror radius, which would be great. And it gives me the ample opportunity to see them at a greater distance and bounce right there on them, re-put them down, and then I'll have, and if they're being healed, depending if they're healing themselves or healing someone else, if there is somebody else there, then I'll be able to go right after another person, taking people off the generators as well, and they're constantly being chased. That's the main thing about this killer, is to constantly keep the pressure on the survivors, so that way they have to focus either unhooking survivors, healing them up, and not doing generators. That is the main things to take into consideration. So I don't have Whispers, so I'm running Strider. It's the only like kind of alternative that I have. So if they are kind of close to me, they breathe or they're in pain louder, 50% louder, so it kind of gives me an audible cue to know about where their position would be located. Let's see here. I also have Iron Grasp just because it helped me, because I know that a lot of these other survivors that are actually more decent level, they're running a lot of perks that kind of give them more wiggle room, more, you know, other things. So that's just going to kind of help me when I get somebody to be able to run straight up the hook, put them on there without much worry. And I also have Hex, and no one escapes death. So once the generators are all powered up and there's a double totem out, I'll be able to one-hit them, put them down in an instant. So, and it also gives them the exposed status effect. So anything that kind of gives me just a better chance to see where they're at is basically all I need. The main thing is finding them. So as long as they're within your eyesight and you don't let them lose, like, because typically survivors are going to be looking to juke you, right? So the main thing about this nurse is that they're going to be looking to lose on the side of you. Because once they disappear behind a wall, you don't know if they're going to be cutting back around or if they're just going to be moving forward. You know, you never know which way they're going to go when you can't see them. So that's why it's really, really important not to get in the habit of trying to determine exactly where they're at and take a guessing game, because if you're wrong, you're going to be putting way more distance by dashing either away from them, and then on top of that, you're going to be fatigued. So you're going to be literally helping the survivors out in that case, and they'll be able to counteract you, and you'll be doing so much more for them. Oh, that's the first time I actually saw that, a sacrificial cake. Interesting. All right, so here we go. This will be gameplay number 4, second time for the video here. We're going to slowly progress. We're going to get better. We just got to learn from our mistakes, analyze the situation, see what's going on, and try not to make the same mistakes twice. And that's the main thing. Other than that, she's a real fun character. If you can get past the fact that you might lose a lot in the beginning until you get her mastered, I'm sure that the reward is going to be well worth the consequences in the beginning. Because it's all about seeing the opportunities that are there. The opportunities, even if you miss them, you know that the opportunity was there. And you get so much opportunity with this killer. Alright. So we're at the preschool here. Try and gain some Here's the cool thing about her though, is yes, that generator's on a different level, but as you can see, now we found her. It goes straight down through the floor. we're gonna do is we're gonna see, and that's another main thing why you shouldn't just guess where they're at, because right there, that wasted a lot of time for me. Gave her plenty of time to get away. I actually think I hear her. She stuck around working on her generator. I guess she thought I was going to leave her. So what we can do is we know she's in here. Use this. Kind of wasted my second blink. I should have just went for the melee. So she's going to be bouncing out. I can hear her yelling up here. And just like that. Now you can see the opportunities if you just get really good with her like that. I got a little lucky, but I did hear her crying, and I knew she was on the upper floor. So I just kind of pointed in the direction, so that way I could use my second blink to kind of pivot myself. So we know somebody's in here. They're working on a jet. Missed. That's going to cost me extra because I missed my attack also. So we do know they're over here. Okay. See, now I shouldn't have attacked. Now I'm going to go into fatigue. It's such a habit. It really is. It's something you really want to get used to breaking. So in that case, I didn't even have my second charge, so I was only using one. I'm using her bad right now. And this guy's just laughing at me. I didn't have my second charge again. Alright. Gotta play a little patient. Okay, this guy definitely knows how to juke. He's definitely had more experience playing against the nerds, as you can see. And with me being slow, I have to absolutely rely on my ability to blink on top of him. So let's go ahead and just knock that power down. Let's get him away from here. Let's get him running. There we go. Yeah, we got 2 charges. We're pretty decent. So I heard somebody off to my left. I think it's that first girl I was on. Let's see. Yep. Sad. Now I think if we get a good hit on her, instant down.
Hey! Yeah!
Let's keep them out in the open here.
Hey! Hey!
She moved this way. Thought I saw scratch marks that way. So they're definitely looking to go out that gate. Alright, held it too long. Thing is, they won't know that I'm running Hex to one hit them. down now. Alright, so we got her weak at the moment. And we got one man down. He's actually the one that's been a pretty good juker, so we're going to go ahead and put him on a hook. Alright, so now we got another one. Pivot. Okay, so we wasted on that one. We're probably going to be going for the second unhook here. Definitely not going to be wanting to... What? Grandma needs me? Okay, I'll come right over after this game, okay? Okay, I'm streaming right now, sweetie. You gotta give me just a second, alright? I'll be right over there. Is everything okay? Sorry about this, guys. I'm actually gonna have to cut it here. Some real life stuff kind of popped up. So I will be back on. We're gonna figure this all out, and I will see you guys in just a little bit. All right, thank you.